History is the story of humanity, a tale woven from defining moments that reshaped societies, sparked revolutions, and changed the trajectory of the world. Today, let's explore the top 10 historical events that profoundly shaped the modern world as we know it. Each event is a cornerstone in the story of human progress, innovation, and resilience. Number 10. The Printing Revolution, 15th century. In 1440, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press, and the world was never the same. Before this innovation, books were painstakingly handwritten, making them rare and expensive. With the printing press, books and knowledge became accessible to the masses. The rapid spread of printed materials like the Bible democratized knowledge and empowered individuals to think critically. The printing revolution fueled the Renaissance, Reformation, and the Age of Enlightenment. It enabled the dissemination of revolutionary ideas, sparking movements like Protestantism and shaping modern education. The press became the foundation for free speech and journalism, principles that continue to define democratic societies. In many ways, Gutenberg's invention gave birth to the modern information age. Number 9. The Industrial Revolution, 18th century. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in the late 1700s in Britain, transformed economies from agrarian to industrial powerhouses. Innovations such as the steam engine, mechanized textile production, and mass manufacturing revolutionized how goods were made. Urbanization followed as millions moved to cities to work in factories. This period also ushered in a wave of technological advancements that shaped industries from transportation with railroads and ships to communication with the telegraph. The revolution raised living standards but also created social challenges such as poor working conditions and environmental degradation. Ultimately, the Industrial Revolution laid the groundwork for modern economies and globalization. Number 8. The American Revolution, 1775. The American Revolution wasn't just about the birth of the United States, it was about the birth of modern democracy. The war for independence from British rule inspired the drafting of the U.S. Constitution, a document that became a model for governance based on liberty, equality, and individual rights. The American Revolution had ripple effects globally, inspiring other nations to challenge monarchies and colonial powers. Its ideals influenced the French Revolution and numerous independence movements in the 19th and 20th centuries. It demonstrated that a government could be established by the people and for the people, a principle that still resonates today. Number 7. The French Revolution, 1789. The French Revolution was more than a revolt. It was a declaration of human rights and an end to centuries of feudal oppression. The storming of the Bastille in 1789 became a symbol of liberty, equality, and fraternity. The revolution dismantled the monarchy, reshaped France, and paved the way for modern republics. Its impact stretched far beyond France. The Napoleonic Wars that followed spread revolutionary ideals across Europe, inspiring constitutional reforms and the abolition of feudal privileges. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen became a cornerstone for human rights movements worldwide. Number 6. The World Wars, 1914 and 1939. The 20th century was marked by two global conflicts that reshaped the world order. World War I ended empires, redrew borders, and introduced modern warfare technologies. However, it was World War II that left an even deeper imprint. The horrors of the Holocaust and the devastation of nuclear bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki underscored the need for global cooperation. These wars led to the formation of the United Nations, established to prevent future conflicts. The outcomes of these wars also set the stage for the Cold War and the modern geopolitical landscape. Number 5. The Fall of the Berlin Wall, 1989. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 is one of the most iconic moments of the 20th century. For nearly 30 years, the wall had divided Berlin and, by extension, Germany into two parts, East and West. It symbolized the Cold War, the deep political and ideological divide between the communist Eastern Bloc, led by the Soviet Union, and the democratic Western world, led by the United States. The wall was built in 1961 by East Germany to stop the mass migration of people fleeing to West Berlin. It became a physical and emotional barrier separating families, friends, and communities. For almost 3 decades, the Berlin Wall was a powerful symbol of oppression and division. However, by the late 1980s, the political landscape in Eastern Europe was changing. The Soviet Union under Mikhail Gorbachev had begun to loosen its grip on satellite states, promoting reforms like glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring. In East Germany, protests for more freedom and reform grew stronger. On November 9, 1989, amidst mounting pressure, the East German government announced that citizens could cross the border freely. Thousands of people flooded to the Berlin Wall, overwhelming border guards and tearing down the wall with their bare hands. The fall of the Berlin Wall marked the end of the Cold War and led to the reunification of Germany. It was a powerful moment of hope, symbolizing the triumph of democracy over dictatorship and the desire for freedom. This event reshaped Europe and had a profound impact on global politics, bringing an end to decades of division and leading to the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union 2 years later. Number 4. The discovery of the New World, 1492. In 1492, Christopher Columbus set sail across the Atlantic Ocean in search of a shorter route to Asia. Instead, he landed on what we now know as the Americas, changing the world forever. Though Columbus didn't know it at the time, he had just discovered a new world full of rich land, new resources, and diverse peoples. His journey marked the beginning of the Age of Exploration, where European countries began to send explorers to the Americas. This led to the exchange of goods, crops, animals, and even diseases between the New World and Europe, a process known as the Columbian Exchange. New crops like potatoes and corn were brought back to Europe, while horses, cattle, and wheat were introduced to the Americas. However, the discovery also had dark consequences. It led to the colonization and exploitation of the native peoples in the Americas and the start of the transatlantic slave trade. Despite the challenges and suffering, Columbus's voyage connected the continents in a way that would shape global trade, culture, and history for centuries to come. The discovery of the New World was one of the key events that shaped the modern world as we know it today. Number 3. The Enlightenment, 17th century. The Enlightenment, a cultural and intellectual movement that began in the late 17th century, revolutionized the way people thought about society, politics, and the universe. It emphasized reason, logic, and individual rights, challenging centuries-old traditions and authorities, particularly the monarchy and the church. Enlightenment thinkers, also known as philosophies, believed that human progress could be achieved through the application of reason and science, rejecting superstition and dogma. Key figures like John Locke, Voltaire, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau introduced ideas about natural rights, democracy, and the social contract, which would go on to influence revolutions and the creation of modern democratic governments. The movement also promoted freedom of speech, religious tolerance, and the separation of powers within government. The Enlightenment laid the groundwork for the American and French revolutions, inspiring the drafting of influential documents like the U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of the Rights of Man. It also sparked advancements in science, with pioneers like Isaac Newton and Galileo laying the foundation for modern physics and astronomy. This intellectual awakening encouraged individuals to question authority and seek truth through reason, changing the course of history and shaping the modern world. Number 2. The Digital Revolution, 20th century. The digital revolution, which began in the mid-20th century, has redefined human life in ways that were once unimaginable. It started with the development of computers, which transitioned from massive room-sized machines to compact, powerful devices we carry in our pockets today. The invention of the internet in the late 20th century connected the globe, making instant communication and information sharing possible. This revolution accelerated with the creation of smartphones, which merged communication, computing, and entertainment into a single device. Social media platforms emerged as powerful tools for networking, activism, and business, while e-commerce transformed how we shop and interact with the economy. Fields like education, healthcare, and entertainment have been completely reshaped by digital advancements. However, the digital revolution also brought challenges including cybersecurity threats, digital addiction, and the spread of misinformation. It raised complex ethical questions about privacy, artificial intelligence, and the influence of algorithms on society. Despite these concerns, the digital revolution remains a cornerstone of modern life, driving innovation and progress while reshaping how humanity connects and creates. Number 1. The Scientific Revolution, 16th century. The scientific revolution fundamentally changed humanity's understanding of the universe. Figures like Galileo, Newton, and Kepler challenged centuries-old beliefs, laying the groundwork for modern science. The shift from religious explanations to empirical evidence revolutionized fields like astronomy, physics, and biology. This revolution paved the way for technological advancements that have defined the modern world, from medical breakthroughs to space exploration. It also influenced the Enlightenment, promoting intellectual freedom and the pursuit of knowledge. The scientific revolution was a turning point that continues to guide humanity's quest for understanding and innovation. These 10 historical events have left indelible marks on our world, shaping nations, ideologies, and the way we live today. Each moment in history serves as a reminder of humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and capacity for change. So which of these events do you think had the most profound impact? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys through the fascinating chapters of history.